Um, hitting record.
What's up, everybody? This is Presto.
Corporal Nosage.
And you are listening to episode 129 of the Nintendads podcast. Today, we are reviewing Splatoon Raiders for the Nintendo Switch 2. And I busted out the Splatoon shirt, which hasn't seen action since Splatoon 3 came out.
My Splatoon shirt is somewhere up there. I'll have to find it, because I too have one.
I also have this little buddy.
Hi!
He's around. He's always staying fresh on my desk. Splatoon Raiders is out. It is what some consider to be one of the best games on the Switch 2. But we're going to find out today whether it is fresh or if something fishy is going on behind the scenes. Corporal, what are you playing lately?
What am I not playing lately? So I have a Switch 2, and as one does, has every single game one owns installed on it, but the Switch 2 is an extremely small memory, so only so many things can stay. So I have to figure out what had to go. So I played through a bunch of just random junk games that were on my Switch 2 to determine, do they keep the cut or do they get uninstalled? And as a litmus test of whether or not they can stay on my memory card or not. So I did a speed run of Lego Hogwarts, which on the Switch 2 is all of the books in one download. It's the entire story arc.
What?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. We are in the process. Our family is about 3/4 of the way through the first book, and I forgot all about Lego.
Lego is the best version. If you want to introduce your children to a video game genre, regardless how violent or grotesque its original medium may be, find the Lego version, and it is 100% kid friendly and so enjoyable to play with the family.
He's watched me play Hogwarts Legacy, which is obviously not, have to do with the story of the books, but he knows Hogwarts Castle a little better before we read these books.
That's cool. Hogwarts Legacy is a phenomenal.
I did not get far enough into it. I have it. I have it on PC. That's the problem.
You need it on the Switch too?
I don't have it on the Switch 2.
I played Disney Speedstorm and still need to upgrade and unlock every single character in order to play them, or purchase some of the characters and then upgrade them. And you have to upgrade each one of your vehicles along with it. And I can just tell you, when you start a brand new game and you can only choose one single character, but it in your face shows you like 75 other characters to choose from, only to find out that like you have to like level each one up. The mechanics of the game are decent, but I've got Mario Kart, so I don't need to grind.
Mario Kart, you have to unlock some of the stuff too, but not in the same degree of tediousness that Disney Speedstorm.
No. And so I enjoyed Disney Speedstorm, but it wasn't worth keeping on, so I uninstalled that. A lot of people, at least on my TikTok feed, are playing this game called The Back Rooms, where it is just like you would think, the urban legend of the back rooms. You get lost in the dream.
I'm dying to see the movie.
Actually, The Back Rooms was, and you know how like when you start a game, you're like, oh my God, this is so tedious. Why am I doing this? Like, I was trying to explore this back room and I couldn't figure out how to get out. And that's like the whole game now. I literally had the thought, oh my God, this is so tedious. Why am I doing this? And then I found a set of keys. I was like, wait a minute, this is new. I found the set of keys. I did a little bit longer, and it was like, oh, wait a minute. There's more to this game. And then, like, the world opens up, and then this creepy voice talks to you, and then there's a guy following you, and then you've got to, like, run and find an axe, and, like, it had the best pacing.
Really?
But if you die, you start over at the very beginning. And I'm sorry.
Oh, old school. It's old school like that, huh?
I put too much effort in to get that far, so I uninstalled it.
Listen, you are the biggest fan of Myst, okay?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I know.
Anyway, and then you've been playing Fortnite.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, me and the family play Fortnite.
All these updates are lame.
Honestly, they're not. They brought back the Simpsons map, which was probably one of the best maps in recent history, and they're adding so much more stuff. Lo-Fi Girl is in Fortnite, and she has her own map.
What?
Lo-Fi Girl has her own map, and you can choose which lo-fi music you listen to while you play in the map, and you can choose which lo-fi outfit you have. And your cat can run along with you while you play no-build Fortnite and explore things. Yo, Fortnite knows
Fortnite is
what's
the least
up.
lo-fi game I can think of, other than like Overcooked.
Fortnite knows what's up. All right? They know how to get the girls hooked.
I don't know.
Speaking of hooked, what are you drinking?
What am I drinking? I am drinking pretty much my body is a machine. The input to this machine is iced espresso and hydration, and the output is existential dread.
Okay.
And doing laundry. My dog got sprayed in the face by a skunk.
Ooh, that's fun.
So I have spent the last week has been pretty focused on cleaning her up, waging war with the skunks to try to evict them through being a terrible neighbor.
How's that going?
I mean, I don't know if they're still there or not. That's the thing.
Skunks are pretty resilient neighbors, I will say.
I could be a real bad. I'm not making it. I'm not making life fun for them.
Are you the United States and Iraq doing war crimes with Britney Spears music and strobe lights?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. Now we're on the same page. Yes. But yeah, I've been just coffee, and it's hot. It's hot here. So it's just coffee to keep me going and hydration to make sure I don't break down along the way. And I have pretty much been exclusively playing Splatoon Raiders.
Yep.
I was, before Splatoon Raiders came out, I was playing Grand Blue. I had to think about it for a second. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink Endless Ragnarok. And honestly, that game is pretty good. I feel like it hasn't truly clicked for me yet, but I did only have it for like a week before Splatoon Raiders came out. I think we talked about this on the last episode.
Okay.
It was the rare time I got a game when another game was coming out. But let's move right along. Quick news things. Mario freaking Sunshine is finally coming to where you can play it without having to emulate it. It is coming to the GameCube, Nintendo Switch expansion thing in a few weeks. I think August 9th is the date. But it's going to be available to play. It's the only game that I haven't played through with my son, a 3D Mario game that we haven't played through yet. So I am very excited because Mario Sunshine is one of the greats, and it's just been in the vault for like 20 years. So it'll be good to have access to that.
Halo Campaign Evolved, not Combat Evolved. Combat Evolved, Halo Combat Evolved being the original. Halo Campaign Evolved is the newest remake of the original first-person shooter. The first-person shooter that revolutionized all first-person shooters before that the next other game to hold that title was Half-Life. So I'm just putting that out there. 2 of my favorite games in the entire world. But Halo Campaign Evolved got re-released with complete graphical overhaul, but also mechanical overhaul, introducing a whole lot new things to the game that were not a part of the original, and maybe there's a reason.
Yeah, I've heard mixed things about this, and it'll be interesting to compare this to something like the new Star Fox game, because Star Fox got, new modes, new cinematics, new engine, but basically the gameplay is 1-for-1 for the N64 version. And I thought that's how Campaign Evolved was going to be, but it's not, right?
Game without them. Fate Makers commenting about the skulls. So if you're unfamiliar, in Halo, you explore the game, and for those super deep nerds who really love to explore the levels, there's hidden Easter eggs that can be found throughout the levels. And some of them are unlockables that can help change and alter the game. One of them is the birthday skull. And the birthday skull is that whenever you shoot a bad guy in the head, his head explodes with confetti, and there's a cheer sound, birthday cheer. And those types of skulls alter how the game can be played. Some of those skulls are like the originals, would remove your HUD so you couldn't see your health, your ammo, or your radar. Some of them make the bad guys harder. Some of them make all of the ammo you pick up practically empty. So ammo is like a famine. It's hard to find. So there's a lot of different skulls that are in the game. They've added some new skulls to the game. Skulls that will remove sprinting. Skulls that will put the camera in third-person view versus a first-person view. Which, I'll be honest with you, some of the skulls are pretty interesting. But some of the skulls, honestly break the game. And they are severely overpowered.
What about the basics of the game? Because I heard from probably the person that I know that is the second biggest Halo fan right behind you say, quote, "It just feels like Unreal Engine 5 slop. Movement doesn't feel right. Shooting doesn't feel right." And I don't even need to tell you who said that.
So Yeti and I have some difference but same opinions. Because the game had a lot of mechanical overhauls, and Microsoft announced that the reason why they're re-releasing these games is because they're trying to unify the graphics of all of the games so that all the games have similar graphics. And that's a great thing. One of the other things that they're trying to do is trying to simplify the mechanics so that this way all the games feel unified together as one cohesive story. Because, they were originally made by Bungie and then later were made by 343. So there's some differences between the two. So this is their way of unifying the game. In future iterations of Halo, they include Sprint. So they went back to the first game and they've included Sprint. But anybody
they added Sprint by default?
By default to the game.
Oh, now I know why Yeti hates it.
So if you know anything about game design and level design, if you include a mechanic like Sprint, which greatly changes the amount of time it takes you to traverse an area, or the physics mechanics of the game that allows you to expand your movement up and around in the area, adding Sprint to a level that was not designed for Sprint can make that level almost unplayable, or to the point that you are godlike because you can sprint through hordes of enemies and wall jump around the map without ever once having been hit by the bad guys, allowing you to skip whole sections if you wanted to. And that, to me, takes away from the essence of Halo. Halo's one of the reasons why Master Chief was such an iconic character is because he was a tank who could just plow through anything and everything. And because he couldn't run, he had to walk through these hordes of enemies. And now
he can't run. He's
no,
just like,
but now he just flies through things. I personally think the game on the Unreal Engine with the Unreal Engine enhanced graphics are phenomenal. The graphics in this game far exceeds everything. I am so happy with that. There are things that they've done, like the sprint skull. There is a skull that you can find to remove the ability of sprint. I think those things should have been reversed. Sprint should not have been default in the game.
yes.
Sprint should have been something you could have added to the game with a skull. And there's small tweaks like that should have been in the game. Sprint, bringing the mechanics together, should have been in the game, but maybe not should have been default.
I think, and this might be a hot take here from a non-Halo player, so feel free to disregard my peasant opinion, but the fact that they added things to the game by default that go directly against the original game design philosophy tells me that who did this? This is 343 that did this?
343 recently was disbanded and rebranded as Halo Studios.
I think whatever name Microsoft wants to throw on the Halo dev team, I think they have lost the plot so badly that they cannot even make a faithful recreation of the original game without pissing people off. I think the Halo franchise is hopeless.
I think they did a lot of things right. There's a lot of things that they improved with this franchise, with this re-release. There are some level design choices that they made that I think were phenomenal. There's character and NPC placements that they did, which are perfect. Their open, vast world and their ship and tank and plane driving mechanics are phenomenal. But there are other things that I just don't think that they gave enough attention to. These are all things that I think, because this is their first time redoing, they're going to learn from their mistakes. And they have announced that they're going to release Halo 2. So I imagine that they'll improve upon these things. It's just that this is a disappointing... It could have been a re-release that made it a 9 out of 10, but because they fumbled some of the mechanics, it's a 7 or 8 out of 10. And for a game that, for me, was a 10 out of 10 on original release, and for a game that this is now the third time it's been re-released, so, like, I paid for it.
Does it have multiplayer, or is this just single player?
Just single player. And that's one of the gripes, is that the original game had some form of single or multiplayer in it, and this does not have any multiplayer. But I think they're going down.
How much did this cost? For
me, $40.
How much does it really cost?
I think it's like $50. I think it's $49. So what I will say is that Gears of War, they've re-released a version of Gears of War that was single player only. And on the 30th, 2 days ago, they have released the new Gears of War multiplayer system. I think they're doing the same thing with Halo. They're going to release a multiplayer system, which will unify all of the single...
For free?
I don't know. I didn't look into it, so I don't know. But I think that that's what they're going to do.
I don't like games getting re-released, taking things away from the original. That's not...
Yeah.
Star Fox, here's the new game. It plays the same as the old game. We added a bunch of new stuff. Oh, also, there's a phenomenally updated and improved online multiplayer for $50.
Yeah.
Yes.
Star Fox remastering, since we're Nintendads, right? The Star Fox remaster did a phenomenal job. And if Nintendo continues to do a phenomenal job, then they release Ocarina of Time, I'll be very happy.
Multiplayer.
I don't know how you do that. But
horse racing.
I'll do that. You want to do the next topic real quick in the news?
I think we should just fly through these.
Yeah.
Sony continues to be stupid, saying they haven't felt the impact of the backlash. They recognize that there's backlash for non-physical games, but they said we're gonna keep going on ahead. I guess they're not reading all the comments that people are saying. Okay, I'm gonna keep buying physical games until they stop making them, but PS5 is my last console. And when they release the PlayStation 6, we're going to find out how many people are full of crap, or we're going to find out how badly Sony has shot themselves in the foot.
They straight out said in an announcement that they knew that they were going to get backlash for this, but they don't think that that's going to be worth it, because digital media is where the future is heading, and they're just going to get on board now. And today we're telling their investors in an investor call that they haven't seen the negative impacts of this yet. So I
don't see them either. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't see any negative impacts. What?
In response to Sony's announcement, though, Microsoft and Sharma, oh my God, the CEO, her name is Sharma, Asha Sharma, she is like the goddess of angels in the gaming world. She and the Microsoft team has announced, you know what? We are and have been developing Xbox Helix, which is our new console, and it was going to be a digital only, but we think that we're going to release a physical CD tray, a separate device that you can have so you can still access your physical media if you want. Oh, by the way, Xbox will also have Steam so you can play PC games too.
No, that's not confirmed though, right? Steam?
It's confirmed. There has not been announcements about it, but there has been video footage of the Xbox home screen with the Steam icon, and in the video they bump over and you can see the Steam login screen. So like, it's there.
I've seen videos of people playing Halo on Nintendo Switch too, but
I hear you.
Anyway,
I hear you.
Dungeons and Dragons had a big announcement thing this week at Gamescom. They're doing World of Warcraft expansion. They're doing I forget what it's called, but they're doing like a very dark, mature themed thing, which they've done in the past and they haven't done for a long time. But then quietly, and I want to make sure quietly, also, I don't know if this was right before or during, but John Haidt, the CEO or the president of Wizards of the Coast, who is responsible for Dungeons and Dragons and Magic the Gathering, resigned. So that's not a great look.
I don't know why. That seems weird. It's
I don't know. There's a lot of big announcements and then he resigned, so I don't know what that means. We're gonna see.
Fate Maker brings up a pretty good point in chat, and I'm just going to mention it because the whole Xbox Sony thing. Anybody who is complaining about not having access to physical media may be the minority, because if you just turn on your computer and go to your Steam account, what physical media have you been buying?
But I can download my Steam games and put them on a hard drive and access them at any point, even if Steam goes out of business.
So that's the biggest crux and Sony has proven that if they decide to remove the licensing for something, you're SOL.
It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
So
yeah.
Yep.
I do miss installing games with a CD-ROM tray, though.
Disc 1 to install, Disc 2 to play.
Yeah. No, the games that I played was like Disc 1 install. Please insert Disc 2. Please insert Disc 2.
Yeah.
You needed all of them.
All right, we're 24 minutes in. Let's...
Oh, God. All right, let's just skip. Power World came out. It's great. Xbox backwards compatible. Oh, you talked about that with the disc drive. All right, let's talk about Splatoon Raiders. Give me your takes.
So I was a huge Splatoon 1 fan. Splatoon 2 was okay. Splatoon 3 didn't hit the mark for me.
Pretty disappointing, yeah.
This is not a Splatoon game. That's my hot take.
I think that's accurate. It's a spin-off.
Yeah.
It's a side project.
It is.
I will say this is the most fun and I think the best single player Splatoon content of any of the games.
Oh,
By a
100%.
mile.
I will argue that the...
Oh, what are you going to argue?
You should know this. Splatoon 1's story and single player content that led up to the final boss battle, for me, was the pinnacle of awesome. Now, in all fairness, I have not 100% beaten Splatoon Raiders yet.
Not 100%. What percent would you say?
Like 35% beaten Spaltoon Raiders so far. But
my friend.
But I will agree that this is at my current level probably the second best single player Splatoon game I have played.
I would say you are about 5% into the game.
I find that so hard to believe, but I hear you.
Okay. How many?
I do not, and this goes for any game, Monster Hunter included, because fuck that shit. I hate a game that's like, oh, you've beaten it, but really, we're just going to make you play the same game 5 more times because you just did level 1. Level 2 is the same shit, but just a little bit harder. And level 3, oh my god, it's going to be red and harder. And level 4, we're going to give you a feather on top, and it's going to be a little harder. Fuck you. I've played game 1. I'm done. Like, rehashing the same thing over and over again is just Destiny grinding. I don't need to know that to play the game. I do love Destiny, but grinding shit is boring.
That's true. I would say
that was my hot take.
In the baseline, I would say in the baseline story, you're maybe, I don't know. It's you I think you're going to be very surprised at how much content is in this game.
Okay.
I would say maybe if you're at level 7?
7 or 8, something like that.
Character's level 7 or 8.
I'm just before level 10 because level 10's a benchmark.
Level 10's when you clear like the first big area boss, right?
Yeah.
I would say you're about, I don't know, 10% through the story, but you're like less than 5% through the game.
That's wild to me. Okay.
It is. I still have not. I've played an unhealthy amount of this game since it came out, and I haven't even unlocked all the modes of the post game.
Okay. So let's break down the game then. Let's talk through. Now, in episodes past, Presto and I have talked about what makes a good game, and that can be boiled down to what we call the 3 things, which is graphics, mechanics, and story. We've slightly kind of expanded mechanics to include gameplay because there could be different elements of that, but graphics, mechanics, and story are the things that make players buy a game. And we have previously stated that, in my opinion, graphics usually gives you the hook. The mechanics, the mechanics is what makes you dig down into it and enjoy the game and probably give you the replay and the legs of the game. And the story is what makes you remember the game. So with those things in mind, because those have been the benchmarks that the Nintendads have graded most things on, let's go ahead and give Splatoon our opinion.
Well, I would say the graphics of this game are, they're in the Splatoon style, right?
Yeah.
And that is, it's not cel shaded, it's not super cartoony, but it is It is actually it is a little bit cartoony. I will say it's not leaps and bounds over graphic wise what Splatoon 3 was, except for specifically like water, sky, atmospheres. Your character, I think the enemies, the ink, all that looked great in Splatoon 3, and it looks even better in Splatoon Raiders, but not like a generational jump. I would say this game looks the most beautiful when you are parked on your little hub ship and you are looking out at the water and looking out at the sky and just like chilling.
So, in comparison to Splatoon 1, 2, and 3, I will say one of its biggest feats in graphics was when you were in their home hub, when you were in the city. There was so much versatility to the map and what you could view, and so much things that were beyond the invisible wall that you could look at that were out past. I felt like those towns and those cities and those hubs were phenomenally graphically done. So I agree with you that the water mechanics, the sky mechanics, and the hub is very beautiful, despite the fact that you are in the middle of the ocean, in the middle of nowhere.
And that's actually, I've never thought about this, but if you think about the hub areas of the Splatoon games, right? It's a city, it's dense, you can look, and there's a million different details. Raiders is the exact opposite.
Yeah.
You're in the middle of the ocean, everything is wide open. So any of the elements that are there are a little more sparse, but like heavier. Like you have these big cloud formations. You have the water. You can see deep parts of the water.
There's
can see
fish
like
and
shells
sharks
and
moving
features.
around.
Yeah,
Yep.
that's really cool like that. I will say, and this kind of creeps into gameplay a little bit, but when you get to the upper levels of the end game, the amount of stuff happening on screen with enemies and effects and explosions is so crazy. I am absolutely blown away by the Switch 2's ability to maintain a solid 60 frames. It's crazy.
There
Like
is a
I think
lot of assets that are on screen at one time, between the enemies, the various sizes of them, your ink and how you are shooting all over the place, your companions, compadres, and components and gadgets that are also being put out into the map and doing things, the little orange balls that are flying all over the place, and the little blue crystals that are all over the place, and the explosions of different colored inks. Maker, have a good time at the baseball game. There is a lot of assets on screen.
Yeah, and it is. I just confirmed it is 60 frames per second and it holds solid. And I like, if you put this game on the Switch 1, the Switch 1 would burst into flames.
Oh,
I am
100%.
like, it's crazy. Like,
I will say, though, in the maps that you're playing, I don't know if the graphics are nearly as good in normal Splatoon fashion, aren't nearly as good as the hub world graphics.
Yeah, the levels are fine design wise, but they're Splatoon levels. I think they're very bare bones.
That was one of my things I'm going to say, because I've got level design down here. I actually think that the levels so far are not as in depth, whether it's verticality or even like the world feeling lived in and the environment. There's not a lot there.
Yeah, I think the initial the single player content in the other Splatoon games has more platform and puzzling, and this is Squid Fight Club.
Yeah.
They are not putting you in there to figure out how to do it. Like there are some puzzle levels in the you get the compasses, and the compasses put you in a locked environment where maybe you only have one gadget or one weapon.
Yeah.
And it makes you play around and figure stuff out, which is a nice break in the combat. But this game is Fight Club.
I wish that there was more puzzles. I think that because it being a single player mainline game, they could have added more ink-based portal puzzles to this game.
I mean, there are. I mean, there's probably
more.
Well, if you get more into the game, there's probably, I think there's probably 30 levels that are, because here's the thing, as you go through, because there's levels of difficulty, right? You do each level, and I know, don't make me do the same thing twice. But there's says the person who has played through the Halo campaign on every difficulty, and it's not really even getting started until legendary, but that's so every level you play on normal, then you unlock spicy, and then you unlock super spicy. And each one of those, it's the same physical level, but it varies in degrees of which enemies spawn and how many of them spawn. Now, some of the rewards for these spicy and extra spicy levels are compasses. And the compasses, you follow them around on the map. They're invisible levels that you have to follow the compass. It's like a mini game. You follow the needle, or you make the compass fill up. You find them, and then you do them, and those are the puzzle levels. Now, those puzzle levels, I think there's 30 or 40 of them, but they are evenly spaced out throughout the game's duration through normal, spicy, and super spicy.
Mhm.
So if you're like me, you play through the whole game and you ignore them because I don't want to do puzzles. I want to fight stuff. And then when you get to the end game, you realize, oh, I have 35 compass levels that I haven't done. And the only way to level my character up is to do them because it's the only levels that I haven't done yet. And then you go back and you have your puzzly time. So I would encourage you to do the compasses as you get them, whether you enjoy them or not, because you're going to have to do them eventually. It's a nice break. But I do like, let's talk about the level formats, right? There's the puzzle levels. There's the standard, I'll say, Splatoon single player levels where you're going through, you fight a group of enemies, you swim through some stuff, you fight another group of enemies.
Yep.
For the basic level. You have the second levels, which are the big spiral light crystals, where you have to go around, you have to get a certain amount. You basically have to clear out groups of enemies until you have enough resources to do the big crystal drill.
Yep.
Those are really fun because those are more open-ended. You can kind of bounce around.
Oh yeah, do them and complete them in any order and go back and rehash a couple things. Yeah. Yep.
You then have the raids, or sorry, the dens, which is you have to fight, and it's almost like the rifts from the Diablo games, in where you have to defeat enemies and gather the resources that those enemies drop before the time runs out.
Mm-hmm.
So it really encourages you, and you need, it's a necessity to be fast and aggressive. And then there are the other levels, which are my favorites, in where you fight a bunch of enemies, the same as a den, and you clear them, and then you dig down a level. And then you fight a bunch of enemies, you beat it, you dig down a level, and on the third level, you fight a boss, and you have to beat the boss in a certain amount of time. Those levels
are my favorite levels.
Those are my favorite levels.
I will point out that you can complete them single player on your own co-op if you are so skilled. But if you feel that they are a challenge, you can then call upon your friends and have other companions come and dig down with you to defeat the boss as well. And I think that is where the game shines.
However, how much have you used that feature?
It's limited because you can only do it like every 20 minutes.
You can only do it, I think it's a half-hour cooldown, which is I think that's a bit much.
Yeah, it is a bit much.
I almost would prefer that it's you need to clear a level, or you need to beat 2 levels before you can call for help. I don't like the physical time-gated thing.
I don't like the time thing either. I think the time is a gimmick to force you to try by yourself so that you are not carried by more experienced other players.
Here's a question. If you do that and then you pull an Animal Crossing in that you switch to system clock ahead 30 minutes.
I haven't tried that.
Does that work? Because it is online.
Yeah.
So does it check the time online, or does it check your local?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Something that's interesting. We are hopping around all over the place here. but so the other way you can do online multiplayer is you either invite a friend and make a lobby, or you can do a passcode. So if you're streaming and you have viewers that want to join you, you're not friends codes, you don't want to have to become friends on the Switch too. You can set a room code. So we can say Nintendads, and anybody that types in that room code will be able to join the room. The Splatoon community has decided that everybody is just going to use the room code Spaltoon. And that is going to be a pseudo version of public matchmaking. Because if you go on Splatoon and you search for the room code Splatoon, depending on your region and the time of day, you will see dozens of open lobbies using the room code Spaltoon that you can just hop around in. With no
That's
time.
cool.
So I don't know why Nintendo decided in a very Nintendo-esque move to not just have like a quick match feature. There must be some sort of philosophy behind that, but I wish that they did, because that would probably be how I play. But alas. Also, I want to circle back and mention that the mode that you and I like the most, where you drill down, beat a level, drill down, beat a level, that is the format for all of the end game.
Okay.
So I'm going to make a bold statement and say probably 40%. And I don't know this because I haven't
Also beaten the game. Yeah,
gotten all the way through the end game. I will say, I'll be conservative. I'll say 30 to 40% of the game's content is in that format after the story.
Okay. Interesting. Because I would have thought that they would have really divided it up over the other formats so that there's larger diversity.
No.
Oh.
I think the story is decently long. However, I'm gonna go ahead and put a big old spoiler warning here. If you don't want to hear about the Splatoon endgame, fast forward 5 minutes. Okay, you've been
warned.
So after you beat the story, they have these 3 challenge things that you need to do, and I'm not going to get too into the details of those, but you do the 3 challenge things, and then you open up what's called the bottomless buffet. And the bottomless buffet is a series of levels that's what it is. You go down 3 levels. There's no boss salmonids. It's just you beat one level in time, you beat another level in time. If you beat the 3rd level in time with your 3 lives and you beat all the time limits, now you've beaten bottomless buffets level 1 through 3. And the next one you're going to do are 4, 5, and 6. And then 7, 8, and 9. And that goes down infinitely. Bottomless.
Does it progressively get harder as you go down? Yeah, okay.
Because when you start, the bottomless buffet starts around level 50. Because your character is capped at level 50. And you can level up after that and you get bonuses, but your level will always stay 50, and then it'll say like +4 because you have some benefits after the fact. The bottomless buffet levels do not stop at 50. They start around 50 and they go higher and higher and higher. And right now I'm at bottomless buffet level 50, and the level for the challenges that I'm doing are around 80. Okay. And I'm not, they're hard, but I'm not like stuck because I'm upgrading my stuff. I'm not going to spoil everything, but you do get a lot of tools and customization options when you get into the bottomless buffet to give you the tools to deal with the increased difficulty. You get the ability to upgrade weapons. You get some other things.
Sticking to the gameplay and mechanics section of this, each weapon that you can unlock throughout the game from the very beginning forward has a tier system to it. So
Love it.
a splat shooter level 1, splat shooter level 2, splat shooter level 3. But then you can also customize and upgrade that individual weapon even further than that. So there are, in the Splatoon world, maybe, I'm going to say 10, 15 weapon types. Each weapon type has maybe another 5 or 6 variants, and each variant can be upgraded to a different level tier, and then each variant can be upgraded within that to enhance it. So each weapon has also, like, you can increase rapid fire, you can increase splat size, you can increase ink consumption. So, like, you can manipulate your weapon how you want as you level up. So if you are the type of guy who likes the jug flower, the bucket, like, you really can use that in a manner that makes sense for you for distance or for ink consumption. So, like,
Yes.
there's a lot of customization there.
And the weapons, whatever weapon type you're using, if you're using a bucket, you will start to pick up more buckets. If you're using, I read this recently, if you're using a roller, you will pick up more rollers. The game gives you rewards based on what you're using.
Ooh, that's
Now
interesting.
each weapon has a level and a rarity, and it has a bunch of modifiers that you'll start to get, like, you'll get a thing that, like, has a 3% chance to light enemies on fire. But as you get further up, you start to get permanent, persistent modifiers that you can't change. So I have 2 Splattershot Juniors. One has a bonus to range and ink efficiency. So it shoots farther and it consumes ink not as quickly. I have another one that has a permanent modifier for rate of fire. And it's crazy because I got that and I said, this fires faster. I'm going to put that 3% chance to catch them on fire on the rapid fire one, because now each time I hit, it's a 3% chance. And this thing, I have upgraded it to holy hell. And I pull the trigger and you cannot even read the damage numbers. It just goes, and they're very much on fire.
That's awesome.
Like, it's pretty crazy.
So
the gadgets you can customize in similar ways. The more you play this game, there is so much customization to be had, and you need it.
Not only is there customization for the individual weapons, there's also the individual customization for your character itself. When the game starts, it asks you to customize. I'm going to give you my first complaint that I had within this game within the first 2 minutes of starting the game. When you start the game, your default character has a hair setup.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're going to say.
You get asked almost immediately after the crash in the very beginning to, oh, the mechanic is here. What does the mechanic look like? Go ahead and make your character. You can't choose the hair that was just in the cutscene 2 seconds ago. You can only choose hair that is not available, that was not seen. And the hair options suck. But the original hair that was available in the first cutscene of the game, when you first got to see yourself, was awesome.
You do unlock that hairstyle.
That's bull. That should have been my hair. Anyway, but you get to customize your hair, customize your eyes, customize your eyebrow, customize your skin, and then customize your outfit. And a lot of the outfits are unlockable based off of different things that you do. So there's so much to unlock, which is also really cool. On top of the character, you get to customize the base.
Yeah, well, yeah, you do get to customize the base. You persistently unlock
and upgrade
develop
the base,
upgrade your
the
ship
hub.
To level 1, level 2, level 3, and you get to customize the training area, which I actually have done very little of.
Oh, really? That was the first thing I did.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course. I do like the RPG elements where you're constantly unlocking and upgrading because you want to play this game in a way where you're going and you hit a level that you can't beat, and then you go back and, okay, I need to upgrade my weapon. I'm going to try this gadget. I'm going to add this modifier to this gadget, and I'm going to give it a go again. And all of a sudden, now the level's a lot easier. Also, there's the 3 tanks, the speed tank, the power tank, and the tactics tank. There are some levels that you literally need to beat 3 times with each tank,
Oh,
which I
okay.
think is really cool, because it gives you 3 sets of rewards. There are also levels that you are gonna big time struggle with 2 of the tanks, and if you play it with the right tank, it's easy as pie. So the game really does reward you for having flexibility and jumping around.
I have also read that each one of the gadgets you can unlock, there are some gadgets that are almost designed to help make certain levels easier. And
Yes.
upgrading those gadgets to a certain point in order to do that level behooves you. So you may have to go back with the new gadget that you just unlocked, start from the beginning and upgrade all the way to that point. So in order for you to play, which really causes you to master every single gadget and, like you said, every single weapon.
Also, I don't want to spoil anything, but if you only play the power tank and you love the power tank and there's no other reason for you to play another tank, you will get about halfway through the game and you will need to level up the other tanks to progress.
In which case,
I'll
then
say.
you've got to start all over again and level up those tanks.
Yeah, so it behooves you to level them up, not necessarily all at the same time, but like if you like I played through and I used tactics 90% of the time and I upgraded my tactics tank and then I saw that to do something the next level with the tactics tank, you need to have the power tank
Mm.
leveled up. And then I leveled up the power tank. And when I leveled up the power tank is like, oh, well, for the next thing you need to do with the power tank, you need to have the speed tank leveled up. You level up the speed tank's like, you need to level, oh, you already have the tactics tank leveled up. It's funny how that works. And when you get further into the game, you do get to cross pollinate a little bit. The tactic tanks gets a little, I don't want to spoil anything, but when you're playing the tactics tank, you get a little, maybe you can use a gadget from the power tank. And if you're playing the power tank, you get a little bit of the benefits from the speed tank. And if you're playing the speed tank, you get to borrow from the tactics tank a little bit. But that's how it works. It isn't total customization. The tactic tank gets to interact with the power tank. The power tank gets to borrow from the speed tank, and the speed tank gets to use the tactics tank, but
Okay.
not the other direction.
Got
If
it.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which,
Okay.
hit me with a side question because I have to swim my way out of here right now.
I was about to say, honestly, we've talked about base level design, the characters, the story, the combat, the mechanics, the graphics. We've covered every aspect of this game. My question to you is, do you think the game is fresh or fish?
I think it stays fresh. This is, to me, this is game of the year territory.
Oh,
It's probably not game of the year, but it's in the conversation.
do
I
you
will say
agree with the online Reddit community that this is the best game on the Switch?
that is very dependent on your personal preferences. Because if you really enjoy Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, and you like exploring open world with rich story and environment and that slow burn type of thing, this isn't going to be this isn't the best game on the Switch for you.
Yeah.
If you enjoy frantic white knuckle ass combat with pretty limited story and a not a huge degree of world building and like open world level design, then yes, this is the best game on the Switch. But it's a very specific flavor.
You and
And if
I
you like
have
that flavor, it absolutely can be the best game
you
on
and
the
I have
Switch.
talked at length throughout the years of this podcast about which type of gamer you are and which type of gamer I am. And in some ways we are opposites on a lot of things, story and mechanics being one of the points. So I feel like this is the game that fills your cup all the way.
This game scratches a lot of the itches that I have. This game is in a format that I absolutely love. I don't love I mean, it's primarily a single player game. It's not super duper co-op focused, which is, I guess, points off for me because my perfect game is
Is all
Monster
co-op.
Hunter.
Yeah.
Is you can do it in single player, but it really shines in co-op. This game truly really shines in single player, and there's an option for co-op. So I don't know. I need to play it more. Like I said, it's only been out
A week.
less than 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It's only been out for less than 2 weeks. So I need more time with it to really say if it's the best game. I will say, I'll say this is probably, for me, this is tied with Pokopia as the best first party game on the Switch too.
Okay.
For sure.
That's cool.
Donkey Kong Bonanza, I liked it, but it's not in the conversation. Mario Kart World, I liked it, but it's not in the conversation. Star Fox, I loved it, but the scope of Star Fox
Is limited.
is
Yeah.
limited just because it's an arcade type game. So that's what I think. It's definitely among the top games. Whether it's the best game on the Switch 2 really comes down to personal preference because this game picks a lane and doubles down on it. It is not a jack of all trade games. It is not a game that's going to appeal to everybody, but for the people that it does appeal to, it is the best game on the Switch too.
You've heard it here, folks.
There we go.
Nintendads' first review of Splatoon. Stay
It's
fresh.
probably the most positive stuff I've had to say about Splatoon since Splatoon 2 came out.
There you go. Presto will be out of town next week, so you'll just have me. We'll play some Splatoon Raiders online. You guys all stay fresh. Appreciate you coming through. And as always, next time.
See you later.